Catalyst for a Cure is a unique approach to research developed by Glaucoma Research Foundation, which involves bringing together scientists from different backgrounds to work collaboratively to understand the mechanisms of glaucoma with the goal of improved treatment and someday a cure.
When the Catalyst for a Cure began, there was a substantial focus in glaucoma on managing pressure, which is still an important clinical problem, and also on understanding retinal ganglion cell death. And I think what's really transformed the field in the last 10 years, and in part due to the efforts of the Catalyst for a Cure consortium, is really focusing on the earlier mechanisms and also thinking about glaucoma as a neurodegenerative disease.
It's night and day. How we view this disease is completely different now than it was 10 years ago. It's not all about the retinal ganglion cell because there are these other cells that we have to be thinking about if we want to cure this disease. There's astrocytes, there's microglia, there's some other cells that are all contributing to this disease. We understand now a lot of the molecular and cellular detail of that because of the work of the CFC as well as other groups.
When we first entered the field of glaucoma, we were all neophytes. We weren't experts in the field, and we garnered from the literature that the primary understanding of glaucoma was that this was a, if you will, a mechanical disease in some way. There would be pressure elevated in the eye, and when that pressure elevated, ganglion cells would die. But what we found over the first few years when we began is that ganglion cell death isn't a rapid event, at least not in the case of glaucoma. What it is, it's a slow, protracted event. And then what we decided, we set about to do, which I think has changed the thinking broadly in glaucoma, is to look at all of the other elements that really hadn't been looked at very well during the cell death process. So what we did is we asked, what happens very early? What happens upstream of cell death? If cell death is a slow process, maybe there's some hallmarks, some harbingers of what's going on before cell death that would give you a good clinical target for slowing or preventing the disease.
Glaucoma is that rare disease amongst neurodegenerative diseases where if we're only able to identify people with the disease before we currently can do, we have the potential of having a significant impact on human health. I think that the Catalyst for a Cure as a collective has really contributed to bringing glaucoma research to a different level from where it was before. We've brought the hard science to glaucoma, and I think that that is for the benefit of glaucoma patients today and in the future.
We're very excited right now because having traced the earliest pathogenic events in glaucoma over the last several years, we've actually identified several molecular cascades that we think translate stress in the eye, in glaucoma, to the earliest neuronal response in the disease. And so a recent focus in my laboratory has been on identifying drugs that quench that stress response and abate degeneration in progression. And we're very excited that in our preclinical models, we've tested some of these new drugs and have very promising results.